Hello, hello. How's everybody doing out there? Talking Shit Tuesday. This show has Talking Shit Tuesday every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. YDBT Daily, Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we talk to the peasants at Peasant Chat, 9:30 a.m. on Sunday mornings. Once a month, I'm going to start taking one Thursday off a month to attend a Fox Body meet that happens in Miami. I think it's great content. I think it's going to be something that will allow the channel to, highlight more really cool coyote swap builds, small block Ford. But we love Fox Bodies here. And since Fox Soberfest is gaining in popularity, I think it's a good idea to start covering some uniquely super nice clean builds here in Florida. Today, what we're going to talk about is the unforeseen costs of building any hot rod. How many times have you calculated? You've taken out your calculator. You're like, the motor's 10,000. I'll save up for that. Transmission's 5,000. I'll save up for that. The rear end is, 2,800 to 3,200 if it's like a built deal. And then you have it saved up. Then you start building it, and then it nickel and dimes you to death. I'm telling you, the motor, transmission, and rear end are in, and you're like, okay, this project is, well on its way. Then you come to figure out, oh no, you need all the other crap. And then what you think should be the least concerning is what shows you the biggest issues are wrong in the build, the tuning. With modern tuning, if the tuner on the other side of the keyboard is experienced, he can kind of take an educated guess as to what's happening. And this week, it is Tuesday, and I've already gotten 4 or 5 guys that get a tune and the logs come back just super jacked up. And I'm like, this doesn't make sense to me based on experience. So we'll talk about what I've experienced with those people, what they've had to go through to fix stuff, and then the unforeseen costs. When you think you're at the finish line, then you drop it off at a shop and they are going to bill you for diagnosing, because shops got to get paid, especially shops that know what they're doing. They got to get paid. Dyno time, diagnosing time, labor, parts. Yes, sometimes the injector that you thought was a good injector on Marketplace ends up being a complete piece of shit, and you get screwed on. And unfortunately, we're the kind of end game when it comes to telling you, hey, you gotta shit or get off the pot. You're either going to buy another set of injectors, you're either going to vet this injector, you're going to take the injectors out, because we have to verify that everything is pretty legit. We'll talk about that specifically and many more things that have popped up in the last couple. I guess another 10R80 recall or TSB from Ford. A couple of blower manufacturers are popping off, talking some dumb shit, even though we have proven the Mustang is a dud because sales are down and F-150 is outselling it 4-1. It's not even funny. We'll talk about that many more things, but not before Mr. Bill O'Reilly tells us to do it live.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
It does suck. Let's get right after it and tell you who does not suck. And these are the people that make the show possible because they pay me a monthly nut. PMAS, Nick James, PMAS, the best cold air intake MAF sensors. He's starting to make MAF sensors for Fox Bodies. That tells you something. If a company that kind of got its popularity in the late model game recently starts making Fox Body stuff, that tells you that there is a market for that. Don't My God Cookies, don'tmygodcookies.com. If you love sweet treats, great cookies, good quality, thick shit, weird names, and hot chicks making your cookies, don'tmygodcookies.com is where you're going to go to get your sweet tooth taken care of. DNAPFormers.com. You're going to buy all of your new parts there. You're going to buy your blowers, fuel injectors, wheels, tires, supercharger kits, centrifugal, PD, or even turbo kits, excuse me, at DNAPFormers.com. Partsfarm.com. You know what's great about Parts Farm? You could probably find 90% of the used parts that you need at partsfarm.com. I saw them post a set of axles, cap back, axle back, diff, complete suspension setups, headers, fuel systems. Check them out. Partsfarm.com. Toyota Solution, Rami Zanon Solution. Very proud of the fact that he was able to become a sponsor at ModNats, and he feels he's gonna, be well on his way to maybe breaking out of the Puerto Rico market. And Belak Industries, it's Caleb Backwards. Damian Borato, Caleb Backwards named his company after his son, Backwards, Caleb Backwards. Bella. So, richprince.com/YDBT if you want to support the show. If you don't, fuck you and your mom. If you do, you can go ahead and buy some shirts, YDBT and Amory shirts, YDBT and Amory trucker style, Dolo, YDBT and Amory flat brim, shiesty, because it is season to start, it is the season to start robbing people. So it's a good idea to show off the show while you're robbing motherfuckers. Section 8, shirts and hoodies. My goodness, why did I click it? Hush Money shirts and hoodies, ZR50 shirts and hoodies, Booty Juice. Booty Juice for you E30 homosexuals. Elote Juice, Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, GT350, 85 to 86, 87 to 93, 1320 Didios F1320, YDBT and Amory Vertical, YDBT shirts and hoodies. Long sleeve, short sleeve, Amory shirts and hoodies, long sleeve, short sleeve, Booty Juice stickers, Dolo stickers, Elote Juice stickers, 1320 Didio stickers. Guys, anytime you buy something from here, you represent the show, and I get money. And let's be honest, that's why I do this, because if I wasn't getting paid, you wouldn't see me for shit. Let's be honest about that. Yusuf, J Swish, Mind If I 40, D-Rock Fox, and Big Guns were the first people to say hello. Bryson with Toilet Dumper Lemonade. Bryson Wood putting up the links. Thank you so much. Nick Notch, B. Lavesh, Frank 91, John Bonanno, Clint Stroke a couple of times, Joe Jackson, Jasso, Cobra 60, Tony the Truck Guy, TJ Sikorsky, Wesley Stewart, HTFU grad, Redbird, JD Swag, one of the mods, Trakulex, Colby 7505, Christopher Dixon, Mustang Dennis, Shark Marls, I'm Hunk Solo, Slow 99, Canis Lupus, Crowd, Renee DL22, HTFU grad, CJ Cox, semi-retired street racer. Nardi Mikado says, what's up, everyone? Toxic, Sam Milan, Anthony Rafferty, CJ Cox, and he says, if anyone is needing a pair of rusty-ass 13 GT500 mufflers, there's a fat crackhead on Facebook selling them for $850. I got mine for $250. Wild. Samot, Jay Walker. I haven't seen him in a while. Probably riding on his Porsche. Porsche, McLaren, this, day trading. I'm better than you, and I know. Stop it. Colby, CJ, De Guzman, it's Cobra, EPA, Amory. Change your name. Interesting. Anthony, Dustin Garrison, Gen 1, Coyotard. Mango, Brain, Nathan Roberts, Alfredo Diaz, Mid, Mustang, Richie, Thunder, and look, this is something we can talk about too. On Patreon, Garage Build Coyote posted something that I thought was pretty funny. He's like, look, did you know that somebody posted a picture of a GTD at the Nürburgring, and someone took a photo of it, and they noticed that it had potentially a Whipple on it. That's right. Somebody posted a picture of the GTD, and if you zoom in to this photo, it looks like it has a Whipple deal. And I'm like, why do they want rubbing rotors on that thing? Because if you watch Scrap Life Lee, he had a 3.8 liter Hellcat Swap Supra, and the rotors decided to rub. And it had only been on the track like 4 or 5 times. And yeah, a couple of dyno hits. So I want to say at most 20 hits on those rotors, and they rubbed. I mean, just go to Scrap Life Lee, watch his last video of the Supra running 7s with a Turbo 400, pretty race car stuff, and the 3.8 liter rotor Whipple rubbed on the rotors. And they're like, oh, we got a revised set. So you sell all these supercharger kits. Obviously, you don't do proper testing on them, because the rotors rub. And then you tell people, send it back, we'll switch it for a revised set. What kind of testing happens on these parts? Show me a rotor set that rubbed on a Predator supercharger, Trinity TVS, Roush. Like, if they did, it's probably spun within an inch of its life. And I'm telling you, I'm blown away that people keep buying this stuff. I'm like, whatever. It's all good. It's gotten to the point, it's gotten so ridiculous to the point that guys that are like, you would email to get pulleys now fancy themselves tuners and carry around my doll because they can't get I'm literally in their head 24/7. Imagine you can't get me out of your fucking head that you carry a doll around about me. It's pretty hilarious. So they fancy themselves tuners from a file that's 95% complete. Alex, you do the same thing. It's 50% complete. So I do a little more tuning. By the way, if people fancy themselves tuners, I have a 6R80 Kenny Bell 168 TVS. I'm willing to hand you with a clean slate, and let's see you make that motherfucker idle. I will bet you $1,000 you will not make it happen because you don't have anything to reference off of. Stop it with your bullshit. So that is an interesting thing if you want to talk about that. So let's talk about the unforeseen costs of a build. Let's say you get your blower. Let's say you get your rear end, fuel system, everything. On my end, what I end up seeing is the end result. So a lot of people do this. They build it at their house, and then they take it to a shop that has a dyno, and they pay for dyno time and labor. So the shop takes it in, like Danny, DBR, Evo, anyone. Drop it off, tune it through Lund. Okay, let's say I get the ticket. I'm like, that's 30% lean. I got ID 1300 data in it. I got a Whipple 123 data in it, or On3 MAV curve, or ESS MAV curve, or our Vortec MAV curve, or Paxton or Pro Charger. I have a vetted MAV curve I've been using for 4 years, vetted injector data, and it's 30% lean. So now the shop has to go, well, I didn't put it together, but I'll do the vetting on it. They go through it. They find a bunch of leaks. Then they hit up the customer and they're like, did you buy these injectors new? You got a bunch of vacuum leaks. You got a bunch of kinked hoses. Do you want us to reroute that? And you're like, shit, I'm already $25,000 into the build. I thought I had budgeted $1,500 to $2,000 for the tuning. And now the tuning shows the deficiencies in the build. And you're like, actually, the injector. So now the shop, I asked them to smoke test it. Stop spraying brake cleaner on a fucking blower to find a vacuum leak, please. Like, let's do some thinking. If you have a car that has wide bands and it can trim up to 30% fuel, what makes you think that by spraying fuel all over the engine bay, the car will just accelerate and tell you that there is a leak? That does not work. You have to stare at the fuel trims and you spray if you want to do that. And then if the fuel trims move, there is the leak. Not if the car accelerates. I don't understand if you're a shop and you're doing that on a wideband car that adjusts up to 30% fuel while AFR stays the same, thinking you're going to find a vacuum leak that way. I really would go out of, I would go to the closest Amazon warehouse and apply for a job there, because you should be nowhere near a car. No offense. And I learned that probably within the first week of tuning because Jake showed me. Jake's like, no, this thing, the fuel trim's removed. Why would it accelerate? This isn't a carbureted car. I'm like, well, that makes sense because it's adjusting 30%, up to 30%. So now the shop has to find leaks, smoke test. Now there's a bill being racked up, hours. And you're like, fuck. So the last couple of times I've had this happen, I tell the shop, look, let's really do something simple here. Do you have a set of LU47s laying around? Do you have a set of Predator 55s, like a vetted Ford OEM injector, like an LU47 and a Predator 55? They go, yeah, we do. I go, I'm going to send you a tune for a Predator 55. Everything else is the same. Puts it in, trimming within 2%. I'm like, we know it's the injectors. Okay, so they go out, flow the injectors. Let's say they're 1300s or 1650s or 1440s, and all of a sudden, boom, they are shit. So now the injector place is like, yeah, they're shit. I want us to clean them. Then you're the shop. You got to tell the customer you want us to clean them, and it becomes a nightmare. And you're in what you thought was the final stretch of finishing your build, and now you're figuring out that final stretch can be a nightmare if you skimped out on parts, if you shortcuts, and a lot of you guys are believing the people that sell the product as to how it's going to perform. You need to understand the only people that know how this is going to perform are the people calibrating it, and let's just say the builder, sure, but the tuner, end all be all, is going to be the person that tells you what this thing is capable of performing like. Everybody else fluffs numbers. Everybody else shoves it on a dyno and makes a big power number, but then when they get it on the track, it doesn't shift, it doesn't do that, it doesn't do this. And a lot of people are basically using the Whipple file on S650s because it shifts decent. They're like, everyone has the Whipple file, right? So like a twin throttle body setup, that's Ed Badillo built it. Ed Badillo tuned those cars. So you guys are using a iteration of that tune. Let's be honest. So a lot of people believe what the shop or sales people tell you. And every single time I look at these people pop off, I'm like, don't you guys understand they're MSNBC CNN, CBS, ABC. These people are, if they have a vested interest in making money off of a product, they're not going to tell you the truth about it. Like, there's a reason I think Roush kits aren't as popular. It's because there's a better margin with something else. You know what I mean? So let's say you sell a Roush kit and your price is $5,000, but you can get it out the door for, $9,000. That you can pocket, up to $4,000. And you're like, wow. But let's say Whipple's like, no, we'll give you an even better margin if you buy 30. Well, you're going to sell that one. You're not loyal to a brand. You're loyal to money and a margin. That's point blank. The job of these places is to make money. So you need to understand when they pop off on a subject matter like oil pump gears, fuel systems. Now you're starting to see people make their own fuel systems. And they're like, oh yeah, this is the best.
Any artists out there want to be an artist and want to stay a star and don't want to have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the videos, all on the record, dancing.
Those people want to sell you a part. So then when you put it in your car and then your tuner sees the data, he's like, this is no good. But the person I bought it from said it's good. And then who is selling that product? Are they hacking the fuel pump voltage table to make it reach a certain flow number that they want? Because at the end of the day, the reason people have packages, it's because it's simple and it works. And I'll give an example. Let's say you guys are familiar with other platforms, whether it's DSM, whether it's Nissan, Toyota, da-da-da-da-da. Don't a lot of these shops have proven packages that run a number and they don't deviate from those parts selection? Like, the parts that make the package are picked out so that the outcome is consistent. So let's say you have a GTR and you want to go 9s in it. And you go to Sissio Performance. And you go, hi, Sissio, what's up? I want to go 9s. Okay, well, you got our name your 9-second GTR package. Yeah, but I don't want the IDs. I want the Deechworks. Okay. Yeah, I don't want that fuel system. I want that. Okay. Well, I don't want that transmission. I want this. Something tells me that Sissio would probably say, then I cannot guarantee your outcome. But what do you mean? I got Deechworks 1650s. They're $1,000 cheaper than ID 1750Xs. Correct. But the reason I made a package on my website is based on the data that I see, that I collect, that I vet, so that I can guarantee an outcome. So if you're coming to me and you're believing what I say, and I say these parts make this package work, and you refute that, well, I cannot guarantee an outcome anymore. And that's what happens usually at Lund Racing. A lot of people say, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. Right. Copy, paste 9s, copy, paste 8s, copy, paste 7s, copy, paste 6s. So it's not our fault that you brokies want to go fast or as fast as a vetted combo, but you want to redo the combo with cheaper parts. That simply means that you can't afford the package that it takes to run that number. Every shop or every shop worth anything should stand firm on what they're going to do. I doubt you can walk into Calvo, Nth Moto, or what's the other one that does Lambos and R8s? T1, right? Imagine you go to Calvo, Nth Moto, and T1 and say, I don't want the transmission you recommend, and I don't want the fuel pump you recommend, and I don't want the injector you recommend. I want these. Well, guess what? They can now say, fuck you, buddy, which I think I would highly respect. Or they can say, we'll do it, but I think I'm going to go ahead and not guarantee anything about this part. So when I see vetted data, meaning we have files, they're called value files. What happens is you have a base. Here's your base, a manual boosted base. Then you build off of that. So you have vetted stuff you build. You have a file builder. So you build that file, You go through with a fine-tooth comb, look at the MAV curve, look at the injector data, look at the return, look at the stoic, look at the shift schedule, look at the rev limiter. Okay, I have compiled this tune the way I think, the way I know it's been consistent in the past, and I send it to the customer. If it's 30% lean, I can absolutely with certainty say it is not the tune, and I type that out on the email. It's not the tune. Smoke check it. It's not the tune. So then a shop or the guy goes, oh, I told you the wrong injector. My bad. It's a Bobo 1200. Oh, okay, then get an ID 1300X. Yeah, but that's like $1,300, $1,400. Can you just make this work? Nope. But now I've sent you the tune because you told me it was 1300s. You lied and it was Bobo 1200s. And then all of a sudden, data doesn't work. And they're like, tune it, tuner. I cannot guarantee an outcome based on the package you selected. You selected a package on the website. You told us that was in there. Now it's not in there. I cannot guarantee the outcome. So I'm going to protect the brand and myself and say, get the injector you ordered the tune for, or fuck off, buddy. Just like that. And a lot of people think it's arrogance. No, it's guaranteeing an outcome and standing 10 toes firm on the ground. So you're like, you are not going to dictate what happens here. It is no different than going to a fucking bakery and saying, I love the way this cake tastes, but I want you to make it out of cheaper materials and adjust it so that it tastes just as good as the cake that you have the premium materials for. That's why we love to use the term baked in. A lot of the stuff is baked in. We just add the saucy stuff, the transmission stuff, the injector, the fuel system data. And if you don't want to fuck with the bakery, you can go somewhere else and get some, Hostess brand cupcake as opposed to the premium bakery that makes everything fresh and nice. So I think the unforeseen costs end up when you cheap out. Shops have gotten extremely good, especially shops that fuck with Lund Racing heavy. If you don't fuck with Lund Racing heavy, you're going to get those shops using the negative sell to raise their profile by lowering Lund's, right? They're like, well, we're just as good because Lund sucks. Well, show me an example where Lund sucks. Well, I saw this guy's data log. I've been there. And I've told the customer, I will fire your ass if you're sending logs to someone else. If I find that you're sending logs to someone else and not working with me, I will fire your ass. I don't give a fuck, buddy. And you will be excommunicado, blacklisted from ever getting a tune here again. Yes, absolutely would do that. And I think anyone that would protect their brand, anyone that would protect their workplace, anyone that would protect what they do for a living would protect it just as much. No soup for you if you get sideways. So whatever budget you have for a race car or a race fast street car, double it. Double it. I will tell you the story of the Fairmont. Fairmont went away for a roll cage. I was quoted $10,000. It ended up being closer to 30. I had the money. I didn't sweat it. I said, yeah, because once you get there, we want to do this, you want to do that, you want to do this, you want to do that. So from a it was a $20,000 quote. It ended up being 30. So I was like, okay, no problem. But I knew that going forward because I played the game before. So the unforeseen costs, you think you're done, your car's running, you dropped it off at a shop, expect another $3,000 or $4,000 if they run into issues, or you could be one of the lucky ones that everything works perfectly. You did a killer job putting it together, and all you owe the person is labor and dyno time, and you should be good to go. We'll talk about it. What do you think about the GTD having a Whipple on it? I mean, it's a piece of junk car with a suitable blower. So yeah, it is what it is. It'll be interesting to see if they use that for more volume and carb stuff, because why didn't you just pulley down on the 2650? This is why. It's not ported, and it's probably pulleyed pretty high. So they probably wanted more volume. So they went from a 2.6 to a 3.0 or a 3.8. But the boost number is about the same. Because it doesn't make sense if you already have a blower on the car to not just pulley down and put race gas in it. Pulley down and put race gas in it. Or does that not make it production? Because if it has a Whipple, it's also not production. The GTD is not production to begin with. It's a Multimatic race car. But if you put a Whipple on it, hell, then what's stopping someone from modifying a GT350 with twin turbos, ID2000s, and going out there and making a bonsai run at your record and then claiming a production car record. It's silly, but it's just not something I care that much about. I just thought it was funny. Calvo and Nth Moto are another example of vetted combos. Correct. If you go to Calvo and I want your CM, whatever, 1300. How about you go to Fat House Fab and you're like, hey man, I know you guys used FFRE, but I really would love for you guys to use TKM. Nothing against TKM. But if you go to Fat House Fab and go up to Ben Stoner and say, what's up? Just dropped off my GT350R. I like everything in the build except the short block. I want it from TKM. I want it from Texas Speed. Ben Stoner will be like, why? Well, I saw this guy describe what the difference is between a pushrod and a 4-valve, and he said, it's got more cams in it. And that convinced me that I should buy a Texas Speed motor. Another great video. This is why when you look at the industry, Lund is still on top. I do think that you're correct in saying that people either overbuy the package or cannot afford it and just buy cheap. Correct. I can go just as fast. So this is what happens, right? A layman hears a combination. 1050Xs, return style fuel system, FFRE short block, built. Okay, let's say this is the combo some Mexican hears in Texas, right? He's like, yo, órale, Holmes, what you got done in your car? Oh, it's a Gen 3 with a built 10R80, built motor, fuel system, 1050Xs, and let's say a Vortec V7 with a 3-1 pulley, and it runs 4.8, 60 to 130. Órale, Holmes, I'm going to build the exact same thing. Oh, hello? Can I get a Bobo fuel system? Texas Speed bottom end? Bobo 1000s? And an ESS G3X? You know? And then you go out there, and it might perform close, but it's not the same build. And then Lund tuned the Vortec car, and Pendejo Industries, or Please Floss Your Face, tunes it, and it doesn't run. Yo, I got the same build as Homeboy. So, like, how come you beat me by 3 cars? Well, it's got ID 1050Xs. It's got a 4 Innovations fuel system. It's got an FFRE block, short block. It's got a Lund tune, and, you know, it's all in a midnight build transmission. Oh, you didn't tell me, like, hyper specifics, but it's the same thing. It's built fuel system, thousands. No. Again, you don't go somewhere to that has a vetted combo and then just change the brand that they use because you can save money on it. Saving money on a toy build is peak retard. If you're like, well, I'm going to go fast, but I want it to be cheap. Peak retard, extra chromosomes, Corky from Life Goes On. Like you don't even build that car. That car's gonna hate you. Hey car, how you doing? What's up? What are you gonna put in me? Bobo 1000s and BMR suspension. You don't want me to hook it all? What? Facebook says it's fine. When finishing my dyno tune, I called Premier Performance in Utah. They only work with Lund Tune customers to rent their dyno. Super cool. Didn't end up going there. Was 6 hours from me. Wow. Okay, got it. Ask Cletus how good TKM is. I don't know the backstory. Calvo or Underground are able to lay out a package and the owner say, okay, only because those companies only deal with people who have money. And, you know, vetting the customer, we're not there yet, right? We're not a big conglomerate. We could have been. Like there was an alternate universe where an Infinity Stone got moved and an alternate timeline happened where Lund Racing was going to join forces with Power by the Hour and build packages. Like build like Nth Moto does, like Calvo does, like Underground does. Build packages. Just show up, give us $100,000, you know, and then it would be one big happy family, and one crackhead fucked it all up. And that's all it takes. It's one of those perfect examples where one tiny fraction of a thing can ruin the whole thing. And yeah, it was pretty interesting. And I saw it happen with my own 2 eye sockets. Don't say it didn't happen. Stop trying to rewrite history. I was physically there seeing it happen. Stop playing with me. Imagine they put an Aldo Hellion bottom kit on the GTD instead of a Whipple. Then who are they going to tune? Who are they going to have tune it? Oh, I know, the guy from Whipple. That's a California Mexican Homes, or it runs close then pops. You don't clown on the Bobos. Positive side of gatekeeping is it keeps that from happening. Gatekeeping should absolutely be done at all costs. Not everybody should have a fast car. Not everybody should have the saucy combo. Not everyone should be taught what to do. Again, gatekeeping is what keeps race car teams have a competitive advantage. Gatekeeping keeps Lund Racing on top. Gatekeeping in the 80s, there were very select few, and some sort of survived, but there is a resurgence of the Fox body. So those old Fox body names are coming back. I'm waiting for Big Daddy Dwayne Goodrich to come back. I'm like, whoa, I haven't heard that name since 1999, right? You're going to start hearing Tommy Trotter. What? Yeah, you're going to start hearing some weird names. Tommy Trotter? LaMotta is going to be like relevant again. Who? Exactly. So the Fox body making a resurgence. At that time, those people BBR. Like those people gate kept. They gate kept. They didn't tell you anything. Why am I going to tell you anything? And this happens today when people set NA records and they say, yeah, NA Gen 3 with the Cobra Jet and cams went 9 something. And nitro fuel. And 32 spark plugs. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Don't forget the Ling Longs. This is the reason BMW Wave took over. Cletus scattered the rods and put the Coyote on the... Cletus scattered the rods of the Coyote Swap Fox. Look, I'm not going to blame TKM for that. Like this is where you have to make... This is where you guys have to make a very educated decision, right? What's the likelihood that the engine builder caused, because if I'm not mistaken, wasn't there a TKM motor in that too when it ran 6s? So they sent it back, freshened it up, put it back in the car with the same tune. Do you think the motor just was built bad the second time? I don't know. But the likelihood of retards, not TKM, building a car and scattering the blocks, I would probably aim at the retards as the cause. Maybe a fuel pump failed. Who knows? Maybe an injector failed. I don't know. But they built it. My buddy said it would be fine. Which tuner at Lund gets most of the nitrous customers? It's either going to be Junior or me. That's it. I don't think the other guys are doing nitrous stuff yet because it is so labor intensive, and I have to write books to explain to people because they do the same thing. Nitrous attracts the least educated customers, and the problem with nitrous is it requires high aptitude, ridiculously high engine aptitude, ridiculously high mechanical aptitude, common sense to use nitrous. Look, got a customer right now, and I don't want to talk too much shit, but he's wondering why his car doesn't spool up at 2,500 RPMs. Like, you need more RPM. He's like, yeah, but I need it to spool in this gear so that it hits. I go, yeah, I don't care. You need more RPM. You can't expect the car at 2,500 RPM to brake boost and make 10 pounds of boost on a roll. You need like 5,000 or 6,000 RPMs. Brake boost, it'll make all the boost you want. So the aptitude of people knowing mechanically what needs to happen has to be higher for a nitrous customer, but turbo guys are bringing up the rear. I'm telling you, there's a tier that you can make a meme of, like knowledge per power adder, and I would say the least knowledgeable get nitrous, which requires the highest knowledge, and second is turbo. How come I didn't make this much power? I commanded this much on the dome and it only made that. What's the back pressure? Do what now? Are you measuring back pressure? To what? Back pressure. Look, man, I don't know. You're saying some words I don't understand. I just keep putting more on the dome and nothing happens. Okay, maybe you're out of turbo and back pressure. I don't know, but I just keep putting on the dome and nothing happens. Sell the car. Sell the car. Yeah, the blower guys seem to be the smartest. Like I test you guys out. I go, hey, your bypass might not be opening. They go, come back. Oh, I checked it. It's fine. Oh, how'd you check it? I did this. Oh, okay, cool. Like, they know. Crackhead. Ford should send the GTD to Fat House and stop playing around. They probably, look, Fat House is the premier aftermarket Mustang builder. Of course, someone's going to give them a GTD. I don't know what's going to happen with it. The difference is you deal with Mustang guys and money. They deal with GTR and Viper guys and their money. Yeah, but something tells me those guys are as... I don't know. But I'm not going to ask them either. But I'm sure that if you are a rich guy... Well, there's like barely rich, when you can barely afford a Viper, barely afford a Lambo, barely afford it. Those guys are probably pains in the ass. But when you can comfortably afford a Viper, comfortably afford an R8, comfortably afford a Lambo, you just say, here are the keys. I want 2200 horse. I want a sequential transmission. And I don't give a fuck how much it costs. And Nth Motor goes, got you. We love you. Cletus could scatter the rods of a 69 dozer. Best to get your entertainment elsewhere. Look, see, a lot of people here say but they watch every fucking video. They follow him on Facebook. They follow his second channel, his third channel, his fourth channel. If he has a channel of a Porta-John that he sits in, these guys are subscribed to it. And I bet you it's half of you motherfuckers that say, no, he sucks. You watch everything. Why? Because you keep me up to date on everything that happens over there. And I'm like, you're a fan. They moon boosted the shit out of it, and I think it skimmed through the video. People actually underestimate how much stuff actually blows up. People don't post about it. Right. Okay, guys. How many engines do you suspect, and I don't know the exact number, but do you suspect Brett has gone under 10 under since he's had the fast green car? Over under 10. I'm taking the over. I don't know this, but I'm taking the over because every 50 runs, you got to rebuild it. Those are aluminum rods. Every 50 or so passes, Joe's like, give me that motor back. So he's been racing FFRE motors for what, 4 years, 5 years? No, I say over. The Lunds have had 3 or 4. And we don't race nearly as much. And does that mean it blew up? No. They get taken apart, they get sent there, and they go through it. And then they go, okay, we see this, we see that, we need to do that, we need to do that, blah, 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 blah. So every 50 runs or so, you're going to get a new motor in there. So Brett's been racing way more. Hell, after a Dragon Drive, I think that motor comes out. And he has a spare, puts another one in there. Like, stop it. So a lot of people think that, oh, it's the same motor he's been running for 8 years. No, it's a program. When you have an aluminum rodded motor that spins at 10,000 RPMs and makes close to 3,000 horsepower, you think that motor gets freshened up once a season? Stop it. Stop it. That is a program over there. But Alex, I need to spool my big single at idle. Had a local guy tuned by you guys was complaining about the car barely running and immediately blamed the tuner. Asked if he listed the red injectors. Magically ran perfect the next revision. And if you made a big boost at 2,500 RPMs, your rods will be all over the ground. Dude, I tried to explain it to him, and I even sent them a video of me brake boosting Jake's truck at 4,000 RPMs. Cheaping out on your nitrous build happens so often, they run like shit and blow up. I had a customer, we dialed in his car on E85. Then he goes, okay, let's head over to nitrous. Okay, perfect. Dialed it in, was nice. How's it running? Runs great, awesome. Can we make a pump gas nitrous tune? Wait, you have access to E85 and you now want to dial in a nitrous pump gas tune. Yeah. Why the fuck? I mean, I'll do it, but why the fuck? Well, I want both. I don't understand you. I don't understand you. Donnie, E85. Section 8, E85. Collier, C85. Have never put pump gas through those bitches. Oh, man. That must turbo Buick guys suck. That must turbo guys suck. Gotcha. Now, more than half watches Clee. Oh, yeah. More than half of you guys watch Clee. And you say you don't. You are fans. And that's okay. Just don't tell me you're not. Just don't lie. Like, people go, did you see this? No. Because I genuinely don't like the motherfuckers over there. I think it attracts retards. And it's good for retards. And if you guys watch the show and you enjoy it, you're retarded. Full stop. I'm sure he freshens it up constantly. That's how it goes. Exactly. Don't forget, he said you needed to brake boost a blower car. Brake boost a blower car. People on that level roll bearings in cars in between rounds. That's kind of a good thing, though. Great R&D on FFRE. It's impressive. It lasts, exactly. Like, it lasts a drag and drive. So imagine his car runs 5 tracks, 3 passes each, and then drives to and from the track. That motor's got to come out after that. I was one of those customers that barely could afford a Viper, and I sent it to get built in this Ohio shop, and I was scammed for $110,000. The car building is also a very shady business. Why did you send a Viper, out of all things, to a shop in Ohio? Okay, so obviously this could be a funny subject, but are any of you guys into any other cars that are not Mustangs? Do me a favor, post the car and the aftermarket you're most familiar with that isn't Ford on the chat. Do me that favor. Let's see. Yeah, Ohio, he said. Would you go to On 3 to put a fucking Viper kit? Fuck. So, name a platform that you are very familiar with that isn't Ford on the chat. Go. Vipers go to Nth or Calvo. Exactly. He said, bro, Ohio? Okay. So, Spoolin' Ben says Vets. Rich says Honda. F-Bodies. Rotary. Get out of here. Nardi Mercado says RX-7. I know he's full of shit. F-Body Corvette. Okay, guys. Name. Let me get some of these guys in here, see what else they say. 4G63 DSM Evo. Nice, Mercury. BMW. Honda K-Series. SRT. Okay. Mitsubishi. Porsche. BMW, Ferrari, McLaren. Shut the fuck up. Wolf Lab scammed a bunch of Viper guys. Calvo did a podcast on it. Gotcha. Corvette, C6 still. Okay. Gen 3 Hemi says Destroyer. Okay, cool. Mazda Speed 3. Ohio's for play. Okay, now, the same people that posted an alternate platform, name the top 2 shops for that platform that you suggest taking that platform to. Right? So if you're a BMW guy, name me 2 shops that are the equivalent of a Calvo, T1, Nth for that platform. And then we'll read it off. And maybe it'll help somebody down the road. Nissan Altima, Subaru. He's probably talking about Wolf Lab. They gained some hype during a short period of time until people caught to their scam. Yeah, I don't know anything. Wasn't me. Yeah, I don't even I'm gonna bring that up because it's just it leads down this weird tree that is not gonna be good. So, Hutter Performance says Brandon Westover. What the fuck's the platform? God damn, now I gotta go back up. Brandon. Don't know. Okay. Pro Tuning Freaks, BMW. CT Performance, AMP. Cadillac. Porsche is M Engineering. Chords and Amp for vet stuff. Chords and AMP for vet stuff. Z06, Race Proven Motorsports. Gotcha. CJR Performance for Gen 3 Hemi. Almost waitlist for the bill. Okay, here we go. Don't trust anybody of my own. Okay, Florida High Performance, FHP, JPR Rotor Sports, Brutal Speed and Tuning for SRT4, Steve LaPointe Racing engines for small block Chevy. Cottons for turbo Buick. Cottons in Agawam, Massachusetts? He's still around? Joe Jackson, is Cotton Performance still around in Massachusetts? That guy, Cotton Performance, dude, 1996. He had this thing that would lay the soupiest black stripes I've ever seen in my life every time he launched. I'm like, how the fuck? And he was like fucking with drag radio stuff when it was first out. Cotton's Performance in Agawam. Shit. My God, that guy is old school, old school. If I got a Grand National, I would take it to Cotton's Performance. If I got to the point where I'm like, I got a Grand National, hey brother, or a T-type, I wanted to go 950s, drop it off, and last I heard he did my motor 2 years ago. Guys, you don't understand. Cotton's Performance is 40 years in business, I think. Like, old school from where I grew up. So, you've heard these people name shops: Boost and Performance, Aaron Gregory Racing, Evo and Evo Spec Performance, Evo DSM, BMW's Mikey McLaren, Ferrari Excel Racing, Turvey's Performance Restoration, Rentec for AMG vehicles. Rentec is right here in Port St. Lucie, or I think Stuart. Boy, you better take that back. Porsche equals Thunder Bunny, Mike Body for BMW stuff. Firepoint Diesel and Darkside Diesel, Speed Performance, BMW shafts, yeah, are all sketchy. For the LS, not one motherfucker, and I agree with that. So now you've heard, if you're listening or if you're seeing this, you know, there are known shops for platforms. And for Mustang, like if I was to guess, it's based on the people that I've messed with. It's all the people that are Lund dealers. You got Danny Built. You got Evo. You got Chuck Wazorunski. You got, I think, Carolina something. There's a Carolina place. There's Evan Smith. But he vendors a bunch of other people. But I'm talking about, like, if you want to drop off your car and they will build you a Billy Badass one-stop shop, Aldo, right? Aldo, Mexico Racing League, Midnight, mostly Houston shops. I would say Billy Badass stuff, Turnkey, them, and of course, Danny Built, Evo, and most of the Lund Racing dealers on the website I trust because we deal with them all the time. Hefner for Vipers. You psycho. Hefner for Vipers? I don't know who that is. I thought Hefner was a R8 guy. Honda KB series is so much. Just let go. Let good shops come and go in vogue. Gotcha. Yeah. Victor Reyes is probably not aware of what he's saying on this channel. That's funny. Ben Dover Performance. That's funny. Boy, you better shut the fuck up. Oh shit. Danny Built, like the guy in the YouTube channel. I don't know if he has a YouTube channel or not. Don't forget Jim down at DNG. Exactly. Hutter, LS Base. Nardi gets along great with Evo. Hefner was doing Viper stuff long before and probably still does. Yeah, but let's be honest, Nth Moto and Calvo kind of took that. So, you know, those guys are probably, you know, they have built their business. So there's a guy I know in Miami has 10 to maybe 12 customers, high-end customers. This guy, you don't even know his name. You don't even know his shop. You don't even know shit. His customers, they all love toys. They all love fast cars. They all love him. And he has one other guy that works with him full time, and they just build cars. Like high-end shit. Guy shows up with a F350. He goes, I want a lift kit. I want badass wheels. I want all the tint. I want some good weather, WeatherTech floor mats. I want a sound system, and I want badass exhaust. Okay. He doesn't say, how much will it be? No, they just do it. And then he goes, that'll be this much. And the guy's like, yeah, here's an extra 10 on top of that because we like you so much. When you get to that point as a shop and you keep it lean and mean and you can pick and choose your customers, you have made it. But unfortunately, most of the shops have to take whatever comes in through the door. And the Mustang parts game is so cheap, and I don't trust any parts vendor except dnaperformance.com, dnaperformance.com. I don't trust any other parts vendor besides dnaperformance.com that, you know, the customer is immediately misinformed the moment he goes to a shop. And then the customer thinks he's saving money by buying the parts himself, but they don't understand that a lot of these shops do the thing where they're like, if you bring me your own parts, I'm going to charge you more in labor. If you allow me to build it for you based on all of the data that the tuner that we work with, hopefully Lund, and us, we know this thing's going to perform at this level with these parts. And we'll give you a break on labor, and we might even give you a break on the parts because we're vendors for those parts. But the customers play the stupid game of saying, I'm going to buy the parts at Black. Watch people ask, you want to know how you're brokey broke? Do you want to know if you're broke? You don't know if you're broke? When you ask for discounts, you're broke. That's right. That's right. I have never asked for a discount. I'm not saying I'm rich. I'm a mid. But I have never said, are you guys going to have anything for Black Friday? Can you afford this part or not? Are we racing or are we fucking around? Oh, I'm going to wait till Black Friday to buy everything at once. That's how I know you're broke. And you should not be building a car if you have that thought process. Spooling Ben. Sorry. Did I miss something? I haven't tuned into the stream in a while. What, a year? You haven't tuned into the stream for a year? Do you have any thoughts on the Coyote House in Long Island? Oh, yeah. Coyote House is legit. He said he works with you guys, and I'm thinking about bringing him the car. Legit. Coyote House, legit. Joe has become a badass shop. He built an F-150 that won an event the first time out. Like, he went up to some, like, Winterfest in Maple Grove, and he has a twin-turbo F-150. The guy builds F-150s nonstop. Midnight kits, daylight kits, just pumps them out. Package deals. Again, Joe's like, all right, you want an F-150? Well, you need this turbo kit, this too, and that's it. And guess what? The same copy paste. And guess what? The truck performs the same every single time because he builds it to that spec. Crazy how that works. When you have a vetted combo, proper parts, you have a person that actually knows how to put it together, and the combo runs the same in every truck you put in. He is legit. I like him very much. Hennessy does a great job with Vipers, especially stripping them and selling their parts, says Jay Walker. You know what's crazy to me? That Hennessy doesn't catch any flack. Like, did they buy some kind of flak shield? Because if you know, the only place Hennessy has a name is like Qatar, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia. Like, Hennessy, like, if you talk about Hennessy close to Hennessy, it's usually bad. And the further, that's what it is. It's a proximity thing. The closer you live or are at Hennessy, you know the deal. And the further you are away from them, you're like, I heard about them. Yeah, they got a Venom. Shut the fuck up. If you get excited on tax returns, your couch touches the wall. If you get a tax return, you're either you have a killer accountant or you're brokey. Never asked for military discount, dude. These SoCal Coyote shops are both shady and lazy. PK Auto Design is the only one I trust over there, and Coyote. What the fuck's his name? Valley 10 Speed. Whatever Valley 10 Speed's shop's name is, that's the guy. I would definitely get stuff done by him because he built 8-second cars. He's built 3-second 60 to 130 cars. He's done it all. Some shops not only misinform their customers, but misalign their customers' GT500. Wow. I'm looking for whatever hookup I can get at a pizza joint. They got to pay for that expensive ass rent. Do you accept EBT? Black Friday now. Why White Monday? I want military discount. They got that flak jacket perk. I'm patient and I look for smart deals and bargain like Alibaba, but don't ask for discounts. Yeah, that's okay. Like, do you know how much meat is in the bone for these places? Private message a parts place. You want to know how much meat there is on a injector, like an ID 1050X, well, there's retail, then there's wholesale. So this is what you do. Look at the retail price of a company's listing. And let's say they have an ID 1050X on there for, $1,000. And then you say, hey, what's the best you can do on a private message? What's the best you can do on a 1050X? And magically it drops $200. And then they say, but if you buy it with this Vortec, this booster pump. Oh, and by the way, we sell a fucking shit ass tuner from a guy who stole shit. We'll discount it heavily all the way around because there's a thing called minimum advertised, keyword being advertised. If you don't advertise it but can still make a sale debajo de la mesa, you're okay. Family friend discount means you charge more. My couch touches the wall. Did Valley take a shop with him? Yes, because he is the shop. I get like $500 back in federal tax every year. People be waiting on them tax returns for their build. I love tax season. It makes me extra money on the side. Alex knows I'm broke. I go to Marketplace and wait for good price on items. Coyote Performance LLC. That is Valley 10-speed. Victor Reyes says, I did my research and watched the smoking gun video. I retract my statement. Again, we don't need to air out dirty laundry. Water's under the bridge. Sacabo el party. That's why if I'm ever going to get a LS or LT based vehicle ever again, I'm going to put a Coyote in it because I don't want to deal with any LS LT shop. Sorry. If you fancy yourself a badass LS LT shop, sorry, I trust none of you. Sorry. Thanks. I'm definitely going with the Coyote House. Appreciate your knowledge. Look, he is not only a good guy, he's a hard worker. He's a leftover. He's a throwback. Joe's there till like midnight. He bought a dyno, and the first thing he did was just put cars on the dyno, just line them up. So now he doesn't have to make hits on the street. He can make hits on a dyno, has dyno days, makes money. He's got to pay that fucker off. Shout out to him. Like, it's nice to see the come up on a Northeast joint work so good. And there's also Nick Andropoulos up there. I forget the name of his Boost New York. There we go. Look at that. I'm remembering. And again, anyone I deal with in the ticket system is legit, plain and simple. Just dropped FFRE Stage 3. Whoa, you paid some money, papa. On my Gen 2, you'll see me in the ticket system soon. V7 YSI and E85. Bro, put 30 pounds of boost in that bitch. And nitrous. At FFRE Stage 3, as long as you got the fuel, as long as you got... Dude, let's get 30 PSI in that motherfucker and run a freaking 7 in it. Paxson 2200 SL tuner kit. What else do you need to run 93 and stock boss 302? Just injectors in the back? Yes. If you're gonna stay on pump gas or a petroleum-based fuel, just get some Predator 55s. They tune really good, and that's it. And a booster pump, right? Like a Vortec or look. All these parts houses private label the same booster pump. So all you have to do is type in your favorite parts house, look at the booster pump. Then type in another parts house, look at the booster pump. It's the same motherfucker with a different sticker on it. Stop it. Yeah, look, a V7 with the FFRE Stage 3, I got so much confidence in that motherfucker. I have a weird confidence with the Illuminator that I have in the GT500. It is odd that car, I get in it and I go, what? And I don't even think about it. I'm like, 22 PSI. I'm not stressing it. You ain't heard it. 20 degrees of spark advance. 22 PSI on a low compression illuminator with a 2650. Like I'm not worried at all. Matt says, I had dropped off my car to shop here in SoCal for headers and tuning. Deal. Picked up the car with a base map thinking it was ready to rip on. So SoCal shops are the people responsible for that whole lawn racing shit, right? And we've caught them stealing. We've caught them doing like red-handed, right? But if you go out there and say it, you're like, you're just a hater, just a hater. Okay, whatever. Like, have the data, have the proof, or whatever. I don't trust any California shop unless it's PK Auto. That's the only one. Because we don't deal with much California shit because I'm dirty, filthy beaners doing business over there. Sorry. You're a dirty, filthy piece of shit beaner. And I only trust PK because he's not a beaner. He's from, he is like Morocco or some shit. Azerbaijan or something like that. PK, where the fuck are you from? Yeah. Let's do it. Also, built the tranny. PBH. Okay. 1,000 horsepower upgraded kit. Built a planetary. Blew up the illuminator. You blew up an illuminator? How the fuck did you do that? What blew up in the illuminator? Nah, sad. You don't worry about shit with the illuminator. I don't worry about shit with the illuminator. I hear base map. I shut down. Best blower setup for a GT 15 horsepower number for reliability. Stock. Best blower setup? For what? What are you doing with the car? I don't know what you're doing with the car. Reliable? Blown. Reliable? Blown. Stock is reliable. Hell, actually, on GT350s, stock's not that reliable. Hopefully, Lund supports Richards to build 10Rs. Yes, we do. Seem to be legit. That's my plan for the future. Yep, we support any build transmission. Now, if the transmission doesn't shift, vaya con Dios, ain't our shit. FFR Stage 3 can probably talk about ML2, right? Maybe not blew up illuminator, but scored cylinders, etc. Wasn't trying to wait to sleeve it, so keep the block as a spare and went with FFRE. There you go. I would say blow up an illuminator. That's not common. Selective clientele in any industry is having your shit figured out. Correct. And I think once you get to the point as a shop that you have like 10 solid ass customers, one thing I did see is a gamble, but seems to have worked out, is the chassis builder for Garrett up there. He's like, I'm not taking off the street customers anymore. I'm just fucking where the money is. And he's just building fast cars for that whole camp. Now, that's a good or bad thing. It could be I'm putting all my eggs in one basket, or this basket's got money, so I'm just going to put all my eggs in it. And if anything happens, I at least have a resume, a very popular resume of what I can build based on these guys paying me to build these cars. So that's something about putting all your eggs in one basket that it's a gamble, but it can be positive for him. And it seems to have been working out. So look, I personally wouldn't fuck with it, but you know what I mean? He's like, I don't want to take customers from off the street anymore because one, I'm too busy. Two, the clientele that I have got money, and I think I have more flexibility with them than just some off the street guy that nobody knows. And at the end of the day, you want to vet your customers. See, if you don't know who is coming to you, you don't know what you're getting in return. And sometimes you're getting people that are like Karens. Like, they want infinite adjustment. Tune my car different. It's not I paid for a custom tune. You mean your JLT 18 manifold Predator 55 E85 car? What's custom about that? Explain to me how that is custom, or it requires a custom touch. Now, if you spec'd out a weird cam, if you're trying out a different injector, if you have like an odd displacement coyote, then it becomes custom. But if you have a fucking stock car with Predator 55s, E85, and 18 manifold locked out in a JLT, boy, that is basic bitch as basic bitch can get. Why the fuck should I take out my custom hat for stock parts? Custom tune. Custom tune? Your cold air looks like a production cold air. Your injectors are production, and your manifold is stock. Just locked out IMRC. What the fuck do you want me to make custom on that fucking thing? Dickhead. So you don't know the customer you're getting. Some customers are super cool. Hey, oh my God, this thing works great. I'm so happy. Can I reply to this email? If I ever have any issues, sure. The ticket's open for 6 months, and if you want to extend that after 6 months, it's another $150 and you're good to go. Whoa. Others are like, it's 7 p.m. Where the fuck are you? I got a race tonight. Miguel got a tune from Zapato, and he's shifting at 9,800 RPMs. You got a JLT 18 with pump gas. Yeah, but he's shifting at 9,800. I got to shift at 9,800. It's 7 p.m. Where the fuck are you? I'm sitting down watching the World Series. Fuck you. Yeah, I wish we could have selective customers. We'd have two. He's Armenian. I said Azerbaijaners. Morocco? Why not trust LS shops? Just curious. Because they fuck with the LS. Yeah, stop it. Lots of shops are parts cannon people that too had a... Okay, lots of shops are parts cannon people too. Had a friend take a Coyote to a shop and they recommended spark plugs and coils for a misfire, and the misfire ended up being the crank relearn. Had a customer today say he had a lean condition on Predator 55s. A very well-known Ford Mustang shop said, we know the problem. You need new injectors and a fuel system. Guess what it was? Incorrectly routed catch can system. They were going to sell him a fuel system and injectors. And then I said, show me a picture of your engine bay. And he showed me, oh, yeah, vent that to atmosphere. Oh, man, it went away. It even idles nicer. Now that you have experience with the low compression eliminator, do you think you think the high compression eliminator is better for boost? No, I think there's a sweet spot for compression, and we can talk about that. If you're going to be at about under 15 PSI, give it all the compression. You're not pumping enough air through the car to cause major IAT issues at 15 PSI, and your car is going to make really good power and feel snappy, down low. You know, like the compression will help it just generally everywhere. So I'd be okay with you staying at high compression under 15 PSI. Over or up to 20, if you have a Gen 3, and you want to build it, I would do 11-to-1 compression. I'd basically bring it 1 point down from stock if you're going to really get after it. So if you have a Gen 1 motor that's 11-to-1 compression, you're going to build it, do it 10-to-1 if you intend on being way over 20 PSI. If you have a Gen 3, bring it down to 11-to-1 if you intend on being over 20 PSI. It gives you a bit of a bigger tuning window. You don't need all that compression when you have intercooling. That's the other thing. If you are going to go above 20 PSI, I am assuming that your intercooling is superior. Intercooling is the most important thing with big boosts. And a lot of people think a Roush heat exchanger, a Roush intercooler brick, and the Roush pump is enough for 20 PSI, and they wonder why the car has 170 IATs out the back. And I'm like, wait a minute, you're boosting it to like over 20. You need to really fuck with the intercooling. I do? Yeah, you do. Why wouldn't you want the tune that works repeatedly? Custom tune. You need 10 different two-step flame maps in the Middle East. Exactly. If your name is Mohammed, your build is custom. Special treatment for special people. He didn't think it was funny. I'll fire the fuck out of this customer. Custom tune. Speaking of CJRC. Oh, gotcha. If you watch any video, the racing tech, no, I don't give a... Look, you guys might think it's hate. I don't give a fuck what happens over there. Like, genuinely don't care. There is nothing on that channel that I want to watch. Like, I've tried. Like, the only time I watch is when Junior's on there. And I want to, and you guys are going to talk about it, right? Because if Junior shows up, and the great thing about him is he just dynos and gets the fuck out of there. He's not out there like doing watt hits with them. He's like, I'm here to tune, get it done, be out of there. Perfect. I love that. But again, I'm not going to blame him if he wants to, like, if I see him going on helicopter rides, I might want to rethink something. I might not want to be involved. You know, I'm like, no, you can do what you want, but I can do what I want. And if you're going to be that close to that crew, I have to bow out because I can't. So there's certain things that I just can't fuck with. And I don't want to be associated with certain actions. But hey, they can do what they want, but so can I. So that's the only time I watch, when like Junior's on there or Senior or whatever. We tuned something that they're fucking with, and okay, cool, because you guys are going to ask about it and I want to be well versed. And it is ear aids. I get warts in my ears listening to the shit that comes out of that channel. ID 1300. Like, how does anyone in that channel have a missing tooth? How do you have a grudge car? How do you have a Pro 270 something? How do you have, and you're missing teeth, or they're misaligned? Like, when I see people that are rich have misaligned teeth, I go, yeah, I don't know what's going on with these people. Put a tooth in that bitch. No, don't put a new motor in it. Put a tooth in that skull. Call me crazy. Every Armenian I know is a solid human. Look, PK is like, he just seems like the right kind of people to fuck with. He's just such a good guy. Yeah, but my mom always told me that I was special so I could get a custom tune. Dealing with ungrateful customers will make you want to go private. You're watching the World Series too? That game was never ending. Yes, I'm watching the World Series. I love baseball. I'm still a baseball guy. Look, I actually went throwing the other day just to see if I still got it. And it is wild to see. I'm 47. I haven't thrown a ball since I was like 37. So I buy some baseballs, and I go to this. We have racquetball courts all over in Florida, like everywhere. So I just throw up against it, get loose, and then I let one fly, and the shoulder feels awesome. Again, the working out, and that ball comes out of my hands, and you hear it. You hear the, I'm like, hell yeah. I still got it. Then you go to the batting cage, you miss the first two, then the next five, you just hit, 500 feet. You're like, I'm good. It's just nice to know that certain skills don't go away. I'm like, that's nice. Then I stupidly was like, let me join a league. And then I'm like, no, there's a reason I stopped playing organized baseball. I take it too seriously. When someone doesn't take it as seriously as I do, I hate them and I hate my life. So I'm going to be happy and not deal with people in any way, shape, or form. Thank you. Clear's racing to me is like Jake Paul in boxing. No, well, actually, that's not a bad analogy because Jake Paul wins. So, but the win is like, right? You go, you don't go, whoa. They make it difficult to watch. It is difficult to watch. Oh, fuck, Theo. What are you going to do when Cleater McCeater and Senior start fucking with helicopters together? I might have to have a conversation. Dead on. I am not preventing them from doing anything. I'm just going to bow out of the situation. If they go on helicopter rides together and shit, I'm like, yeah, that's I just don't want to be involved because of what they've done. The type of people they are. Maybe you guys go, they're innocent. Everything's all good. No, you don't understand. Then you're not watching. So I just don't want to be involved. I just don't want to be involved. Have they raced at War in the Woods yet? That race seems so wild. Hooligan people over there. No, that dude, stop it. Your alignment is off on your skull. Something is a little different. Have you spoken on the 12 millimeter head stud upgrade for big horsepower builds starting from a Gen 1? What the fuck are you talking about? The fuck are you talking about? Alex, what OG alloy bat are you taking? Orange Mako for me. So the Omaha 97, 98, the old Gray Easton, the Gray Easton and the old Thumpers, bro, 3330. I'm a drop 3 guy. I've never done the 3430 or the 3329 because I'm not a homosexual. 3431, if it's like a curveball pitcher, I can get that around. But 3330, drop 3, Thumper, Gray Easton, Orange Easton, Black Easton, Omahas of the 90s, single walls. Bro, those things were badass. Hey, Theo, just got off work and I had a question for you. I'm looking to trade in a 24 Civic on a 2020 GT manual with 17,000 miles. Looking to build a boosted Coyote to go deep into the 9s. Am I gay and retarded for wanting to do that? Okay, so non-standard response. Let's have a conversation. Put down the parts list you think it takes to get there. Low 9s, deep into the 9s. So that's 70s or 60s. Type down on here what you think it takes to get into like 970, 960 range with a manual Gen 3 go. And we're going to have a conversation. Otani's a fucking unit. Watch the batting practice. Dude ain't human. No, that Otani was built for baseball. He's like, what, 6'4", 6'5"? How tall is Otani? Otani wife. Wow. Weird. 6'3". And Aaron Judge is 6'7". God, these are big humans. 6'3", and he throws 100 miles an hour. And he was throwing 90 at like 16 years old. Or 90. I think he was throwing like 95, 96 at 16 years old. Isn't that motherfucker fighting Tank Davis? Yes. Just spent $11,000 on implants and other shit for a nice smile. Definitely not cheap. I spent the equivalent of $11,000, but I had really good insurance. The day Senior and Cleat ride helicopters together is the day Alex executes Order 66. Yep. I'm going to say, hey, Senior, how was the ride? Good. Yeah, let's have a talk. I'm going to go. Love you. I don't want to be 1 degree separated from shenanigans. There are certain things that are just deal breakers. That would be one of them. They could hang out, do whatever. I just don't want to be involved. And it's not a threat. It's just y'all can do what you want. I know the type of people that I want to be around. I pick and choose my friends very carefully. And if one of my friends starts hanging out with someone I don't fuck with, I have a conversation with that friend. I said, do you want to keep me in your life? Yes or no? Do you want me in your life? Do you like my friendship? And he's like, yeah, okay, then you're going to have to fucking choose because I don't fuck with homeboy. And there are people in my life that I'm not that close to because they're close to people that I dislike heavily. While they're nice people, I go, I don't fuck with that guy. Jake said something the other day that, guys, Jake said something the other day that made me proud that he was my friend. He's like, I'm not fucking with that company anymore. And I didn't know why. It kind of slipped my mind. I was like, oh, how come you don't fuck with these people? He's like, I don't fuck with that company. I go, since when? He goes, since they fucked with you. And I was like, how do you even know about that? He goes, I saw it. He goes, nah, fuck them. If you're going to act like that, fuck them. I went, I didn't ask him to do anything. I understand he runs a business. I understand he has to make money. But he made a decision on his own that I will not fuck with a company that fucks with my people. I went, God damn it, whatever you want, buddy. If you need me there at 3 a.m. dialing shit in, I got you. Jay Walker, you're not going deep nines with a manual Coyote, especially coming from a Civic. You don't have the driving ability. That is such a wonderful point, and do not take offense to it. He is treating you like a friend. He is telling you you don't got it. You need to break 10 transmissions. You need to have and it took me nearly 800 horsepower to go 9.7 in a 15 supercharged Coyote. It was a Pro Charger car too. And he did go 9s and it broke the transmission and he got rid of it. So yeah, he is coming to you from a position of love saying, hey, you don't got the driving ability to fuck with it yet. I've had lots of manual cars in the past. Stop it. The Mustang is different. Love ya. You're going to need 850 to 900 rear-wheel horsepower. You're going to need G-force axles at like $2,000 each. You're going to need a carbon fiber drive shaft. You're going to need a built T56. You're going to need a built T56. Not a built MT82, not the stock MT82. You're going to need a built T56. You're going to need 410 gears in the back of that sucker. You're going to need all the suspension, the whole catalog from Steeda, the K-member, the front struts, the rear springs. You're going to need about $5,000 or $4,000 or $3,500 worth of wheel and tire in the thing. You're going to need all the goodies. You're going to need all the weight reduction. You're going to be into a mid 9-second S550. If you get the car for 25, it's another 25 to get there. If it was an auto, Whipple and a fuel system. TVS and a fuel system. Done. Loyalty. Oh, but yeah, Jake. When Jake said that, it made me proud. And actually, guess who? Donnie bought an F-150. He's back in the game. So he's like, hey, let him borrow my Draggy. His truck went 13.3. He was happy. Put headers on it, E85, quad cab. It's his only vehicle. He's like, I'm happy. So it looks like we're getting the team, not the team back together, but it looks like Jake is getting into car stuff because he's building his Cobra again. He built his wife's twin turbo Voodoo Cobra, tuning it. Donnie's getting, so it looks like the team is fucking with cars again. Where they all took a hiatus and I was out on an island trying to do everything by myself. So hopefully these guys get back on game and want to do a rental together and we all go up there and fuck around. I think it would be fucking badass. Jake is a good friend because he wants Alex to be happy. Yeah. I'm willing to do things for Jake that no one else is willing to do. He wants me to take the transmission out of Collier. A properly working transmission. No problem. He goes, take it out. Let's upgrade it. Okay. Why? Because he wants to test some shit out in it. No problem. Here you go. Whatever it takes. The GT500, if I run my 8, I will sell the T56 and we're going to put something in there that will help his business. And I got to come out of pocket. Like 10 grand. But I'm willing to do that so that he can have a proper test bed. Jay Walker's on point. It's not easy goal. Jake doing that for you proves also the valuable person like him sees you as a valuable person. Yeah, he said, I don't fuck. I say, hey, how come you don't got this part? Oh, I don't fuck with those people. I go, why not? He goes, they fucked with you. And I went, got it. Buy all the parts you need, build the car before you buy it, keep the Civic as a daily, easy to start with Coyote, already boosted for the same price as an NA1. I agree. If you make it your only car, it's not going to go 9s daily. A 9-second daily manual Mustang is not a thing. If it is, you got to be changing pulleys and bullshit. Now, if you want to go deep 9s, buy an auto. You can eat a sandwich while you do it. Exactly. And you'll save a lot of money. Gonna need to practice leaving car meets too. That's funny. Don't you have a T56 ready to go for him, Alex? I have it ready to go. 10 grand, face plated, clutch and all. It's yours. Does Donnie still work at Bentley? No. So Donnie like works at a high-end golf resort now. Like he does like, I think he does like remember the high-end golf places here are everywhere and they all have really nice equipment to maintain the golf courses. And he like supervises the maintenance of that equipment. Eliza, S550 says, 24 Whipple Stage 2, 3.5 pulley, BAP FFE, MS100, Whipple tune, car made 780. On a 65-degree dyno room. Car runs 5.56 to 130, 1800 NA. What's your opinion on horsepower numbers? Next spring is Lund tune. I think we could make your car faster on that. 5.56 to 130? I think we could make, well, 780 through an auto? Is it me or is that low on a 3? No, that's about right. Stage 2, though. Isn't that a lower, Eliza's? It doesn't have like a lower? Yeah, it's interesting. So 5.56 to 130 is pretty good for a 10 or 80 car. Horsepower numbers, it seems a little low, but it could be dyno related. The 5.5 tells me it's making good power because 4.9 is an 8-second car, basically trapped, like 150. That's exactly not what I want. That's exactly what I wanted to know, Theo. I got the money, just want to go fast again. Fastest car I've ever had was my old Mustang and Dad built at 600. This is all new to me. It's going to require a lot of money, a lot of broken parts, a lot of modifying because it's an IRS. Suspension is key. The dampening is key. The springs are key. The wheels and tires are key. The weight is key. The transmission, the D4 MT82 from 18 to 23 on GTs because Mach 1s had a 3160 and GT 350s had a 3160. And I don't know if a Bullet did too. I think Bullet had a regular GT transmission. The gear stack on those is terrible. The D4 MT82. You know, it's like a T56 gear ratio, but not. So I would rather you get 373s or 409s than a T56. Mantic or RXC clutch. Again, right there's fucking damn near 12 grand. It's crazy. Okay, what year F-150 would you get to tow a Mustang on an open trailer with? 18 to 23 is fine. 24 and up, I towed the Corvette with the UPR's 24. It towed extremely well. It does have these really nice blindside cameras. That thing was fully loaded, $70,000+ truck. It was badass, or $80,000 truck. Hey, Theo, what do I got my NGK 6510s on 10 PSI Coyote stock Whipple tune still? 28,000s, 0.028, no problem. Donnie is a country club guy, maintenance manager. Yeah, he's good. And he works like 6 to 2 p.m. Like he has a really, really good schedule. I was going to leave it stock and do it over time. I have a truck as my daily. Gotcha. Look, I would do this. Buy the Mustang, go out there stock. Get used to it. See what parts start to fail. Start replacing those parts. Try to optimize what you currently have. Get a sticky tire. Get to practicing. You're going to need axles, drive shaft really soon. Then you can get the tune. Then you can get a header. Then you can get a different cold air. And then you're going to probably be like in the 11.7, 11.5 range. You're like, all right, this is pretty good. I think I can throw some power at it. Then you could throw a positive displacement supercharger or twin turbo at it, being a manual. And honestly, if you threw a Whipple 3.0 or a Magnuson, but they don't make Magnusons for those yet, as far as I know, Gen 3s. So it'd have to be an Edelbrock 2650, an Odin / Magnuson, with this inlet, this guy right here. This is basically the snout upgrade for a Magnuson front feed 2650. Okay, basically it makes it what Odin used to be. So you could see what's going on in there. So this is basically Magnuson sent me the snout, and they're like, when you're ready to go to like a big oval, you'll have it ready to go. All I have to do is unbolt it. And the nice thing is, you see the amount of clearance I now have on the pulley? I can then upgrade to 10 rib, 8 rib, whatever, because the twin inlet snout comes down here, and I cannot get a wider pulley than a 6-rib on it. But on this guy, I can put whatever I want on it. So you can get yourself like an Odin blower / Magnuson casted 2650. Put a 2.7 pulley on it, 6-rib. It'll make your 800 horsepower. And you can practice, and you're going to go through clutches, you're going to go through axles, you're going to go through a lot of parts. But I would go out there stock, learn it, get into the 11s, get into the 10s, throw a blower at it, have a good life. It's fun. I'm not going to lie. The progression of a manual car drag racing is so much fun if you have the money, the patience, and the time and the mechanical ability to upgrade it along the way. I think it's one of those underrated experiences. And auto is like, whoa. Manual, you're connected to the motherfucker. The burnout is weird. Like everything needs to be, you need to be one with the car. So I highly suggest practicing a lot on the stock car and then getting used to it incrementally. And I think you'll fall in love with the process. It's like the gym, right? When you go to the gym the first time, you hate it because everything hurts 2 days later. And you're like, everything hurts, right? But then let's say you go, I don't know, let me stick with it. Let me get past that point where I work on my technique, work on the body parts that I want to accentuate, and see how I feel afterwards. And then after I hate to say it, but after 4 to 5 months, you all of a sudden start posting on Facebook and tell people that you're a badass lifter because you're weird, right? And then you figure out 1 year later, that stage of the lift was weird because you shouldn't be telling people what the fuck you're doing. Then you start showing up with tank tops. Then you start showing up with hoodies. And then you don't give a fuck what you show up with. And now you're a gym guy. Now you're a gym guy. You show up with Goodwill sweaters, ripped up shirts. You're there to work out. You're not there to be seen. You're not there to post. You're not there to do anything. You're doing the dirty work. With a manual transmission, car progression is similar. You're going to have growing pains. You're going to think you're going to need this wheel. You're going to buy VMSs like a retard. Like every asshole's going to have this wheel. You're going to have a VMS stage, right? Every homo goes through a VMS stage. Because you're like, well, let me go. They sort of look like beadlocks, but they don't. But they're heavy, and then you're like, oh my God, these are gay. It's like when you showed up to the gym with wrist wraps and gloves. So, just fall in love with the process, and I think you'll be good. Seriously, I think you'll be good. You want to go fast? Get Automan. Fun, fast, manual all day. Buy a Whipple Gen 2 for less than a bone stock Gen 3. Well, 17 4.5 welds fit over S197 Brembos? I don't think so. I think you need 18s. Exactly why I didn't buy an auto. I bought an MTD2 car knowing what I was getting into. Driving an auto car is boring as shit. Way more fun rowing the boat. Yes, even with a faceplated transmission, I enjoy the experience of driving the GT500, but Donnie drives great. My auto Gen 1 is fucking awesome. I love that car. If you have a manual, Pookie can't steal it. I agree. Pookie cannot steal it if you have a manual. My goal is to get 1050Xs, Lund tune, and maybe a fuel system and really party. I think you're going to like it. I think once all of this hoopla with World Cup is over, what I want to see is them get after it with the 18 and the 25. The problem is manpower. Parker's there. Devin's there. Let's put the Roush blower in the 25. I got y'all headers for the 25 via ultimate header. So headers, Roush blower, pump gas. Let's see how much power we can make. And then get it to the track this year or next year. Get it to the track. And let's go for a 9. All Lund has to do is go for a 9 and then sell the fucking car. You don't need it anymore because the F-150 is daddy of the new generation tuning platforms. It's daddy. Nothing else is even close. We literally tune 4 F-150s for every 1 Mustang of every generation past Gen 3. The F-150 is on fire. It's not even close. That's where the rubber meets the road, the F-150s. Response, yeah, I don't give a fuck about auto cars anymore. This is the only one that I've had, and I want to go back to manual. If EMS didn't have a writing over the lip, they'd look so much better. I agree. Easier for him to go fast with the Gen 1 manual instead. NA, Yes. Showing up to my gym to play on the phone and hog equipment. Exactly. I'm going to release a new Chinese cast wheel that looks like VMS and call it EBT. I like it. At what point do you start showing your calves, though? I started wearing higher shorts because my nuts would get just jacked up on looser stuff, right? I got some pretty good sized nuts. So it just waddles around and it's the problem. So I had to get like, boxer briefs and then like a slightly higher inseam short, and now it just shows off the legs. So now you see basically half of my boxer briefs when I'm out at the gym, and it just happens to show off the legs and calves, and they're pretty fucking good. Agreed on the VMSs. Hate the writing. It's not even centered or even. Wrist straps gay. Lifting straps not gay. Needed with big weight. If you need straps, you need to work on your grip because you're not lifting it. The straps are. Alex has a daily for the daily for the daily. F-150 is such a sleeper. Your wife won't veto it at the dealership. Right, guys? I'm going to get out of here. So we had a pretty, tech heavy show today. And I wanted to kind of do that because of what I've experienced in the ticket system. We need to kind of educate everyone out there that there are vetted combos that are proven similar to packages. If you go to Calvo, Sissio, T1, and Nth Moto, they're not going to steer you away from the package that works. And a lot of customers love to nickel and dime a combo, and then when it doesn't run as expected, they wonder why. There's a reason Lund and shops and dealers and people that are really good with the Mustang game stick to certain combos, certain injectors, certain MAF curves, certain cold air, certain turbo kits, certain blowers to meet the expectation that we know the car is capable of. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys on Thursday for YDBT Daily. We'll hang out there a little bit, maybe have a little more more fun on the show because this was a little tech heavy, but it'll produce a lot of good clips so that I can upload in the next couple of days. Have a good rest of your night, guys. I'll see you guys later. Bye.